Hey guys, it's Alex here from alextubi.com and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I recently asked on my Instagram account at alextubi what questions you guys had about Instagram, getting engagement, the algorithm, making sales, etc. and you came through with a ton of questions. So in this video, I'm going to go through a handful of them and give you my personal advice and suggestions. But before we get started, if you're serious about improving your Instagram this year and you're tired of your posts flopping, you need to sign up for my free Instagram training. Inside, I share 10 secrets that most experts wouldn't dare share, so if you want to be ahead of the curve, click the link above or in the description box below to get signed up for free. Now, with that out of the way, let's get started. All right, so I've got my phone here and I was just looking in the viewfinder and realized that my phone matches my shirt. I definitely didn't plan that, but anyway, here we are. So I got a bunch of questions and I kind of have just picked a few. And the first one that I got multiple times was how to get verified on Instagram. So I do have a dedicated video on this topic, which you can find here. It gives you the exact breakdown and the step-by-step of how to actually apply for verification, which is super easy. You just do it inside of the Instagram app, but there are some really strict qualifications that you have to meet in order to get verified. So the big one being that you need to have press written about you, okay? If you were to go and Google Alex Tubi, you're gonna see a lot of different publications have written about me, interviews I've been in, even my account Men in Coffee was mentioned a lot in Time, Business Insider, BuzzFeed, like big publications. So when Instagram looks me up, they can see that I am potentially a public figure, okay? So if you don't have any press written about you, it's pretty hard to get verified. So unfortunately, that is the case. You can't just like keep applying over and over again and like hoping that you're gonna get it. And by the way, it's not even like that special really. It's just a blue tick. It doesn't give you any extra features. It doesn't really give you that much besides other people contacting you wondering how you got verified. So that's the answer to that. Go and watch the video and you'll get all your answers. Okay, so then, of course, I got a ton of people asking me how to grow my following. So of course, this is important. Growing your following on Instagram is what everybody truly wants, but how to do it is complex, okay? When it comes to Instagram, you typically need a full strategy. You can't just do one thing and expect that to grow your following. It's a series of multiple things that come together to help build your following, okay? So the first thing I wanna ask you is, what are you actively doing to grow your following? Okay, so if you think about it, what am I doing to grow my following? Most people are probably posting to Instagram and maybe using hashtags on their posts. Okay, those hashtags are maybe gonna lead some new people to your feed and maybe that's gonna grow your following. But what else are you doing? Okay, if you can't answer that or you have no answer to that, then that's why your following isn't growing. So what you need to do is to be active on Instagram every single day. You need to figure out who your target market is. And once you figure that out, find them on Instagram, okay? Maybe they're using a specific hashtag or maybe they're following a specific account. Then from there, you're going to like, comment, send them a DM, follow them, whatever you have to do to get their attention. When you give someone 3 likes, they're gonna see that in their notification tab, and then they're gonna come over to your feed and potentially follow you. Now that leads me to the next point of the strategy, which is you have to have quality content. So if you get people to your feed, but your content sucks, then they're not gonna follow you, okay? So you can see how it's a series of things that comes together to create a real strategy that then grows your following. So of course, you guys should know by now that I have a program called the Instagram Ivy League where I outline all of these things. I give you my exact step-by-step strategy to growing your following quickly and authentically. And we have a kitty joining us. And the following that you're getting is targeted and engaged. So that's my quick answer for that. Again, it's a big question and there's lots of things that you can do, but the number one thing I want you to do is go out and be active and engage with your target market every single day. Okay, the next questions I got were about hashtags. So I got some about how many I should use. Should I put them in my comments or caption? Should I change them on every post? So again, I do have a dedicated video to my 2020 hashtag strategy. So I highly recommend going to check that out because I do go over basically all of these things. But quickly, use 30 hashtags on every single post. I know some people will be like, use 11, but that logically doesn't make any sense. The more hashtags you use, the more reach your post can get. So use 30. I typically like to put them in my comments because it keeps my caption clean and I can actually delete them later, which is something that I teach in my free Instagram training. So definitely go ahead and check that out. I'll link it above. There's going to be a lot of links above in this video, I think, because I've talked about a ton of these things before in depth. So you're going to want to put them, or I at least personally put them in my comments. You can put them in your caption if you want. It works exactly the same. However, you're giving somebody 30 different reasons to leave your page when they see them. Okay. So I suggest putting them in your comments. And then the final question was about, should you change your hashtags on every single post? And my quick answer to that is yes. You definitely don't want to use the same set of hashtags over and over and over again because Instagram does see that as spammy. Basically, anything that's repetitive to Instagram is spammy. So you always want to switch up your hashtags whenever possible. Then I got a question about the best way to track your growth or your analytics. So I am a big fan of spreadsheets. So I highly encourage you to open a Google Sheet and start tracking all the important metrics to you, okay? I actually do have a tracker that I give to all the students of the Instagram Ivy League. It's called our Progress Tracker, and I encourage them to fill it out every 7 days. And we track everything from your follower growth to impressions on your post, how many clicks you're getting, how many saves and shares you're getting, all of that stuff. We basically go super, super deep so that you can really see, which pieces of content are working and, how you're growing over time. So at the end of the day, to track your analytics outside of Instagram is to just create a spreadsheet and just keep track of all those tiny little things that are important to you. And over time, you'll be able to, turn it into a pie chart or a bar graph or something like that. So Google Sheets are your friend. Okay, then I got a bunch of questions about how to increase your engagement. So very similar to how to increase your followers, you need to be active on the account, okay? You can't just expect your engagement to blast off if you're never actually giving anyone else likes or comments, right? So if you do what I mentioned before and go to someone's feed and give them a couple of likes, they're most likely gonna come back to your feed and give you a couple of likes in return, okay? So this is a very simple way to get more people to your feed, which in turn will increase your engagement just by a byproduct of traffic. But outside of that, increased engagement comes from better content, okay? If you want someone to like or comment on your post, then your post needs to be worthy of that. So for example, if you just posted a picture of the lasagna you had for dinner last night and said, oh, this meal was amazing, some people might like it, but in most cases, they're probably just gonna scroll past it because it's pretty casual, it's pretty personal, there's nothing really that exciting about it. However, if you posted that same post, that same picture of the lasagna, but you said, last night I made this incredible meal. Here's the recipe. I've written it out below. It's passed down from my grandma who's from Italy. It's incredible. And it's not vegan, but if you swap out this item, then it would be vegan. And something like that, which is much more in depth, much more value packed because you're actually educating people and giving them a resource. That's what's going to get more likes and more comments, okay? So even if the photo was still the same, but your caption was way better, your engagement will increase. Now, couple that with taking an even better photo, okay? So instead of just, a selfie or, an iPhone photo of your lasagna, you actually lay it out, you toss some cherry tomatoes next to it, maybe there's some raw pasta kind of in the corner of the picture and you make a flat layout of it. Now that image is higher quality and that's going to get you more likes and comments as well. And then finally, another way to get more engagement is to just ask for it, okay? I always talk about using a CTA or a call to action at the end of your captions. So this is your chance to say, hey, comment below if you have a family recipe that you love, or comment below if you love lasagna, or whatever it is. You can also get them to like this photo if you agree, or like lasagna, or tag an Italian friend, or literally anything. Just ask them for it, and a fraction of people are going to go ahead and do what you've asked, okay? So that's how you increase your engagement. All right, then I got a question that said, is content still king? Which I thought was an interesting question. And I'm assuming you've heard that statement before. I certainly have many times. And it's a weird question to answer because I do think that content is king in the sense that having really great quality content is what's going to help you build your authority, and get people to like you and trust you. Okay, so content is king in that sense, but I don't think that like you need to make hundreds and millions of pieces of content forever and ever. Like when I think about my Instagram account in the last year or so, I've definitely stepped back a bit because I have like 400 posts that are all super high quality, valuable pieces of content. So if anyone is to come to my page, they've got 400 pieces of content plus my blog plus my YouTube that they can go and explore. So I don't necessarily need to keep creating content. I actually just need more people to see my old content. So I think content is king in the sense that yes, it does help build your authority and like, know, and trust factor, but content is not the only thing that you need. You know, for example, for me, I also need a product. Like I need a way to make money, right? So I use my content to then market my product. So I don't know if that was a good answer, but content is king in a way, yes, but you do not need, endless amounts of it. Okay. Just focus on making really good content and not focus on like quantity over quality. All right. So next up, do you recommend giveaways? I think giveaways are a great tool. However, I personally use them for specific purposes. Okay. So I don't just do like, oh, I, reached 10,000 followers, I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm more likely to do a giveaway, obviously to give back to my audience, which you could do at 10,000. But with that giveaway, I'm also hoping to get more followers or collect more email addresses or get more subscribers to my YouTube channel or something like that. Okay. So you're giving away a prize, but you're also getting something in return for hosting that giveaway. Okay. So don't just do random giveaways just for fun. You definitely need to have purpose behind them. And I do have a dedicated video on how to host a successful giveaway. So definitely go ahead and check that out because there's lots of things that you should consider along the way. And then the last question I'm going to do is about Reels. So I had a couple people asking, why is Reels affecting my reach? Or, my Instagram posts have gone down in engagement ever since Reels was introduced. And the reason why that is because Instagram wants you to pay attention to their new feature. Okay, so they're purposely giving people who use Reels more engagement and also decreasing the engagement on other things like stories and feed posts so that you think, hey, maybe I should go use Reels. Okay, that's their ultimate goal is they want you to use this new feature and they want their launch of the new feature to be successful. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have seen The Social Dilemma on Netflix, but I would highly suggest going to watch it because it kind of explains this from the back end and it's a little bit creepy and it's a little bit weird. But basically, they do everything on purpose. Like they will purposely lower your reach in order to get you to take a different action. If you're thinking, well, my stories or my posts to my feed are no longer working, like maybe I should go check out Reels. And that's exactly what they want you to do. Okay. So I do highly suggest going to watch that video. It's definitely eye-opening and it'll probably make some of these things make a bit more sense. But that's the case right now. Reels is getting more engagement, which is great. I definitely suggest that you at least try it out and take advantage of that engagement while it lasts, because I do think over time, they're going to decrease it, right? So again, they want you to get obsessed with Reels. They want you to fully immerse yourself in it. And then like 6 months from now, they'll just decrease your reach a little bit because it's not as important anymore. They've already got you hooked and you're already using it every day or every week or whatever. So that's probably why I don't think it'll be a long-term thing. Definitely don't give up on the other areas of Instagram. They're all still super important, but that would sort of explain why your engagement may have changed since the introduction of Reels. So that's it for today, guys. I think I sort of clumped together the most common questions that I got. Again, please go check out the rest of my videos on my channel because I do have a bunch about Instagram. And of course, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. As I mentioned, I have like 400 plus posts over there that give you all kinds of tips and tricks on using Instagram to improve your presence, grow your following, sell your products, etc. It's all there. So I hope this was helpful and I will see you guys in the next one.